Alright. We have a pretty fancy Class 15 Japanese-made sewing machine. This is a quick overview. This one is badged Premier, but all these machines, they were made for so many companies, and a lot of them have similar features. This one is a particularly fancy side-load machine, and it's got a lot of the common things that you'll need to find if you get a vintage machine. You'll need to find these controls and figure out how they work on your machine. But the most important one is the cam follower release. Modern machines, they have all these stitches, but part of the selector is an automatic lifter to lift the cam follower to allow everything to slide. These early machines with a cam door or even an internal cam stack, some of them have a cam follower release, and it's an extra knob here, and it may not always be labeled, but in order to change stitches you have to release that knob, and then you can turn your dial to select your stitches or put your new cam in, and then you turn that or you flip it back for sewing, and it sets the follower on the cam, and now this knob doesn't turn for selecting. So if you have an old machine and you can't get your stitch selector to work, or you're having trouble with your stitches, check if you've got an extra knob that is the cam follower release and that's in the correct position to sew. This machine also has, I'm going to shift this back to the straight and zigzag normal operation, and this machine also has a left, center, right needle position, and this left, center, right does affect the cams. So if it came with a manual, it would tell you where this knob should be based on the color coding, because there's 3 colors on here, or some other coding on your machine. But if you get a machine, you'll have to test and learn whether this left, center, right affects your decorative stitches. To do that, I usually pick a decorative stitch, and then I just, if it stops working or isn't working, you do just have to test the stitch width and the needle position, because those may both affect the way that the cam stack works. Like on this machine, the stitch width knob is a push and turn. It also has a quick zigzag feature, but if you set the zigzag width to maximum, it doesn't do any decorative stitches. It only does a normal zigzag when you set the width to maximum. Other machines, you have to set the width to get the width of whatever stitch you want, but this machine only switches from regular to zigzag. But it has a buttonhole feature. There's a dial on top, a shifter here, indicator, and it flips through 1, 2, 3, 4 neutral, and you have to have your zigzag set to maximum width for the buttonholing feature to work. Again, if you don't have a manual, you just have to explore your machine and test it. This machine also has this knob, which is just a zigzag quick selector. So if you're going along and decide you want a quick zigzag someplace, you can flip that knob to get a section of zigzag quick without shifting your whole zigzag width. Or you could manually adjust your zigzag width as you go. It's got a pretty standard length and reverse button here. But yeah, generally speaking, these machines, if you find one with a layout, you're going to find they operate pretty similarly, but you do have to do some experimentation, and you need to count your controls and look at your controls as you test to find out what features your vintage Japanese machine has.